Blessed be the name of Yahuwah Elohim, King of the universe, the creator of the heaven and earth and the sea and everything within them. We want to say Toda Yah for one, for bless each and everyone on this line to see another day, Abba, to bless your mitzvah to open their eyes from the four corners of earth today, Abba. Abba, as we is doing our captain meeting today, Abba, we just want to know everything be edified. Let the Zaken put out the message, put out the information, Abba, everything be told and edified in your sight, Abba. And Abba, we just say, Toda Yah, this for the things you do for us, Abba, for the wisdom that you give us, Abba, that we able to put out this type of information to the Mizpachah, Abba. Blessed be you, Yahuwah Elohim. Blessed be the name of your Elohim. And blessed will come in the name of our Elohim. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Amen.
Hallelujah. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Well, welcome back. It's been a while since we had a captain's meeting. And really, this meeting is just to kind of get us back in the saddle and focus back on our internal affairs. Getting more organized is our primary mission right now. To that effect, like I said, Adon Marlin, today is his anniversary, so I already knew he wasn't going to be here today. But for future reference, when we say all officers, that means your captains have got to let your officers know when and where, what time that these meetings are going to happen. And then, like I said, sometimes it's just going to be the captains and Morey Samat, and sometimes even Morey Dawood and his captains. First on the menu is you guys did review your duties and responsibilities. Y'all still have that paper, right? The duties and responsibilities. It's really soft. It's not hard, fast. It's just primary things that we can work on right now to get more organized. If you still have that sheet, review that sheet and then start taking action to put check marks in those duties and responsibilities. For admin right now, our primary is to collect data. That's admin. Me and Marlon, our job is to build rosters to collect, like, for instance, members. Who are members of True Light by Yah, not just ones that just attend on Shabbat and they come together on the feast days, but those that are actually members of True Light. We got to work on that, getting that roster. And we're going to build a contact roster for True Light. And what I mean by that is like a phone tree, with the name, the phone number, maybe even the email, and then prioritize that list into who needs to know what information. So we get a checklist. Nobody gets left out of important information. So if it's just the captains that need to know this information, then only the captains are going to be notified. If just the Morey and, let's say, for instance, the committees, any particular committee, just those committee members or even that committee head will get the information either by email or a phone call. That's the type of information that admin is trying to focus their effort on us, me and Marlon, to build these rosters, to build these databases, so we can keep track of how many members, where these members are, so we can stay in touch with the members, stuff like that. The second big issue is getting a handle on how many committees we have and who is the committee chair. That's another big issue, but that's the admin department. I'm just going down what admin, our objectives are for now. And then the third priority, which could flip between the committees, and this third priority is web presence. We had a website. For whatever reason, that website went dormant and it's now not a domain anymore. It's still out there, but it's not reachable. Right now it's in limbo, like nobody owns it except the the web host. They still have it, but basically, if somebody really wanted it, they could go in there and buy it. You know what I mean? So we got to track down that credentials and either kill that website or re-energize that website and start using it again, start updating it. Myself and Marlon, I wish we could have had more on here, especially Morey Samak. But one of the problems is, do we want to outsource to track this information down, or do we have this information? You know, you got to be able to give the web host the webmaster's credentials. Like for instance, the email that the webmaster that manages our web page through that domain, we got to give the domain that webmaster's credentials, email, password if we know it, and that then we can re-energize that website and start using it again, maybe, and even switch the webmaster so that we'll have, you know, our webmaster that because I don't know who that webmaster is or who that webmaster was.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Well, my opinion is crash that one and build a new one.
Okay.
I second that motion. I was gonna say the same thing. Great, look, that we are on one accord. I said that.
Yeah.
Well,
I said
I'm
get
gonna
Marlon. I think
gonna
get
put that-
Marlon. Oh, speak up, Don. I was gonna say, see, get Marlon to start a new page, because you know how he started the fees committee web page.
Right.
I think he go ahead and do a new page for the assembly.
Okay, but it might just be easier. Marlon is the expert on this, and you know, I already told Marlon what we're looking for, and I just haven't got any feedback from Marlon yet. But it might even be easier for Marlon to just re-energize it rather than starting from scratch. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for that feedback from Marlon and Morey Samak in particular, and let him make that decision whether to kill the old website and start a new one. I believe Marlon, just speaking to my daughter Kiera, she managed and web mastered a few websites, and she said it's not that hard. Only thing you got to do is find out who was the webmaster. I think Morey Samak knows. He just got to dig out that information. But either way, that's just things that are on our table. I didn't put it out for vote. I was just letting you know where admin is at. Some of the things that admin is working on.
Oh, can I? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Don. It's open. It's all open. If you got to speak, just speak.
No. I just want to say, just in case you are in other meeting or you talk or whatever, and they need my opinion. You know now what is my opinion, because one of the thing is I put in the consideration this we've been struggle with this from the beginning.
Okay.
So, and I see, on my opinion, well, if Marlo can do, that would be awesome. So, but in my opinion, I finish with that struggle and start over. Yeah.
Noted. I put that in the notes. All right. Next, you got anything to add before we move on to logistics, Captain Jan?
Lord, Don. I know we got some projects coming up. We're gonna take some. I'm getting involved with the Morays, and right now for the logistics part we're doing for this land. So.
I was about to address that right now.
Because we got I got to sit down and see, because we got Passover. So what we want to do for Passover, so we can start preparing for Passover. You know, we don't want to wait last minute, so we need to get in place what we need to do. And if we have a location, if we plan on doing something on the land, stand on tents, and probably working something to get Avadal and the crew and the Akeem to try to build like some showers and stuff out there for Passover. So it's something to sit down and discuss. Get that ready.
God, and you know, well, I'm about to go into the logistics part, but I think the priority internal. I'm just talking internal because that land is inter-organizational. You know, and I know we're all one house now, us and the remnant, but the remnant has their particular things that they have to handle, as well as True Light has their particular things they have to handle. So I think I didn't want to put anything about the land that's inter-organizational until we have an inter-organizational meeting. You understand what I'm saying?
I
So
second
when
And
when Moray Dawood and his captains come on board, and then we really discuss the land, that's when I wanted to put stuff together, put it out about the land. But things we can start working on internal True Light Bayeth Yah is like lodging, and in particular, like we do a lot of back and forth to Virginia. We need to have something in place for lodging. I think this is just a suggestion. I think it you know, just like when we were in the military, there were if it wasn't on a base that we were going to, then we already had organized that these things are going to happen annually in this area, and these units are going to be using your facilities, you know, and they work out deals. And also, if, by scripture, remember when maybe ones and twos went into other cities, they already had brothers and sisters that they could go lodge with while they were there in that city. So if we could work on something like that, if it's going to be a Knesset moving to you know, like when we went up to Virginia for Pentecost, you know, how we had the hotels already, you know, you called ahead of time and blocked off a bunch of rooms or whatever. But I'm saying if we know we're gonna do this annually, maybe we could set something up to where we don't have to really, we just call and confirm that, yeah, we still want to keep that reservation. You know what I mean? Just things to think about, stuff like that. And then if only like ones and twos, maybe three are going to go, let's say for a conference, let's say me, Abadal, and you, Yohanan, let's just say the three of us are going to Virginia or Georgia or South Carolina for a particular conference. We might be able to just lodge with another brother or sister, you know what I mean, for a day or two that we're going to be there. And if we can set up those little connections, start thinking about those connections, and then make a list of, well, if we're going to Virginia and it's not more than, let's say, 45 minutes away from the venue, we could stay at this place, or we could stay with this brother, we could stay with this brother, or here's the hotel that they already know we might be coming. I know that's a little reach, but things to be thinking about for logistics. And then also in that logistics package is transportation. I know that a lot of religious groups, like churches and stuff like that, have memberships with like Hertz or Enterprise or stuff like that. And they use a church account and they get discounts and stuff like that too, for like rental cars, rental vans, stuff like that. Maybe we can look into that. And then the next piece is storage facilities. Like I know we have one here in Wilmington that we have stuff in storage, but the actual building would fall under, the storage facility would fall under logistics, and logistics needs to have a list of, I know of one right now. I don't know if we have more than one. I don't know if we have something else in another city, but I know in Wilmington we have a storage unit, but I don't know the name of the storage unit. I don't know the contact information to the storage unit. I know Moray Samak does, but we want to take some of that stuff off of his plate and put it in the right office. So we need to start capturing that type of information is what I'm talking about. And then particularly when we're heading out there to Virginia on the 23rd and the 24th, we need to have some kind of safety consideration in play. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be a lot of equipment, people swinging axes and chainsaws and stuff like that. We got to have some type of safety plan put together before we get there. You know, where's the hospital? Who knows first aid? Stuff like that. You know, and that's all I have for logistics. By the way, Captain Yohanan, you're doing your thing, man. You're doing your thing. You know, we saw that through the feast days that we've already been through this year. So keep up the good work, man. We see your work paying off, and then all the communication you're doing too. So halal ya toda rabah for your efforts, man.
And the known, see, I wish I could be out there because that's the safety thing. That's my field. That's my field line of work. But one thing you got to make sure that while you out there, them guys have the proper PPE, have the safety goggles on, safety glasses, gloves. Have some type of, I recommend steel toe boots.
Right.
You know, it's the basic PPE. So I think y'all should have like a safety brief. While you get out there, have a safety brief. And make sure they have the matter of fact, I'm gonna put that out in our 2-unit community group.
Well, you know that falls under Yamin. That falls under Jermaine.
Yeah.
So Jermaine could put together a safety brief. He can research the closest emergency facility, stuff like that. Put that in his plate. That's not your job as the captain. Now you the captain, you can do it if you want to, but you got officers to help you. You know what I mean?
And I had an idea for lodging too.
Okay.
I don't know when you have a group, there's like Airbnb.
Yeah.
Like you get like a 4 or 5 bedroom house Airbnb, and each family to get a room.
That sounds good.
And they just put in, because you could like hotels. Some hotels you have to pay the full amount
right
before you get there. Airbnb, you have to put like a down payment on, and the day of, before you check in, like they give you a date that they'll take the rest of the money before you check in out.
Con. You know, so and go ahead.
And then I got a membership with government vacation rewards.
Yeah.
They also give discounts on hotels also, so I have that.
That's told. But let's say you're not available. How are we going to access that information? You know what I mean?
Kane, what I do, I give my login information. And
I'm not saying go that far. I'm just saying, like I was saying, that's the reason why we need these rosters and these records. So, you know, if you're not available, we know where to go to get this information.
Right.
You know, so that's basically what I'm talking about now. Is collecting all that data and putting it somewhere where it's easily accessible by the leadership. You understand what I'm saying?
Kane.
Con.
And I can get all that information to Yamin.
All right.
You know, like, because he is my officer, and he's like my backup. Something if I ain't around, he step up in my place.
Con. And we'll move on to supply now, and then we can go ahead and close out. Supply, the same thing, Adon, just start collecting data, building a spreadsheet or a document to where this information is captured to where we can easily reference it if we need it. For instance, for supply, when you read through your duties and responsibilities, start creating documents to capture all that information, you know, because it, you know, here shortly, everybody's going to start giving status and progress reports on tasks for that particular office, you know, and as captains, our job is to motivate and to supervise what's going on in our office, you know, and that's the responsibility. Now, however you want to do it. If you want to get hands-on and all that stuff, that's up to you too. But remember, we're trying to raise up the younger ones that are in that office, so they can step into your shoes eventually, you know, because you know, there's going to be other duties the further down the line we go and I'll just say it in years, you know what I mean? Pretty soon, Abadal is not going to be, you're going to be moving up into a more senior position. Captain Yohanan, you're going to be moving up to a more senior position, you know what I mean? So you're training up those officers in your office to step into your shoes when you have to step up to a higher office. And that's really the goal. And then the same thing, when that person steps up, then they start training up the officers that are under them too. And the cycle goes on. But for supply, data collection, because like in that storage unit that we have there in Wilmington, do we know like how many chairs are in there, how many blue chairs are in there, how many black chairs are in there, how many tables are in there, instruments, furniture, pots, pans, utensils? You know, we need to catalog that stuff. So if we need it, we know what we got. For instance, let's say we're moving out to that land, we're not going to have the facilities that we had at Kirkwood. You know what I mean? Like the utensils and pots and, you know, all that stuff. So we need to know what we have. So if we don't have things that we need, we can go ahead and order it and store it. The other thing for supply is assets that True Light has. It's dedicated to True Light. So if we had a vehicle, let's say a van or a bus or, you know, something like that, a car, something like that's dedicated to True Light, that needs to be on file somewhere. If we have, let's say, one or two different buildings, like a Knesset and an office. I know we don't have that, but those are things that need to be captured, those type of things. If we have, eventually, if we have land with cattle on it, how many cows, how many goats, how many chickens, stuff like that. You know, that's what supply needs to start building a database to collect and store all this information. Because eventually we're going to need to know, not just for True Light, but like we said, man, we're going to be maybe a place of refuge for you know, people. And then what can we handle? What can we support? What can we deal with? So all that, really the primary mission for all these offices now is to start capturing data that we don't have on hand. Now I know Ima Audrey is a bookkeeper. She's like our admin right now. So I know myself and Marlon are going to tap in to see what kind of accounts we have, what kind of subscriptions we have, what kind of you know, reoccurring payments we have and stuff like that, and also to try and collect memberships. Who got baptized on what day? Who got immersed on what day? You know, who died? Who was born? Stuff like that. That, you know, in our culture, we kept that information. You know, because remember when they came back to Jerusalem, everybody was declaring, they had that group of priests who were declaring that they were priests, but they had no data to prove who their family was. So it was like, hey, if you can't prove who your family is, you're not going to hold that office right now until we can prove who you are. So that information, we need to start capturing and holding on to that information, you know, because you know, life goes on. If 50 years down the line and most of us are not here or either not in a capacity to that information needs to be captured and able to be passed down. Anything you want to add to that, Adon Abadal, and supply?
No, everything is told. Everything is told. I don't. Yeah, we need to. I think we can, let me see if I can reach, my brother KC. So between me and him, we can, I think we can handle all the information about the storage here on Wilmington. Start working on it. But this is that's a good idea. I like idea. So that way we have everything in, all the information we need for any situation we have.
Con,
We can have. So I like that. So.
con. And eventually we're gonna start collecting, like so let's say people are moving out or they bought new furniture and they're giving up that old furniture, or they just bought way too much and they want to, get rid of some of it. We need to be able to store that stuff somewhere until somebody needs it, and then we can hand it out. Clothes, appliances, pots and pans, stuff like that. Cases of water, canned foods. We need to be able to start collecting and storing that stuff too. But that's down the line. Right now, we just need to get organized and get everything captured and get in the habit of keeping these records. But the big picture down the line is to be able to do stuff like that. And that's one of the big offices of supply, especially like Haiti just had their problems. If we were in the position to help them, we would go to our stores and know what we have that we could send out that way. You know what I mean? And then if we could put the word out too, we're trying to collect this because we don't have it, and then to get it shipped out that way. And then of course, once we package all that stuff up, it's going to roll over to logistics to get it where it needs to go. So that's the big picture of what we're trying to do and getting organized and stuff like that. Final notes, and then I'll go ahead and close out. Like I said, man, Sukkot overall was well executed. Y'all did the planning. Everything pretty much came together and went pretty much the way we planned it. And in all things, there's going to be stuff we're going to have to react to and that we didn't plan out. But then we learned from that, and then we planned for it the next time. And having said that, pretty soon we're going to start doing after action reports. And I know Captain Yohanan, you're used to stuff like that in the military, after action reports and lessons learned. We're going to start doing that too, so we can really hone in and be very efficient with our efforts, with our organization and with our efforts. Communication. Go ahead.
I was putting some notes together about the last lesson learned and added action. I wrote a lot of stuff down. I learned where we went mistakes, why a lot of us got sick, and the root cause of it. So, I did all my investigation and wrote all that down.
And that's what we need to do. Each office has to make reports like that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, for instance, like you said, logistics. Did everything get to where it needed to get to on time? Was the planning sufficient? What were the roadblocks in the planning? What was the roadblocks in the execution? Stuff like that. And then like supply, did we have everything we need? Did we have enough time to get everything that we need? Did everything work out as far as resupply? Like we're not going to be able to keep, for instance, let's just say milk. If we had milk, we wouldn't be able to keep the milk for the whole 7 days. So did it fall in plan right that on the 4th day, we're going to go and resupply milk? That's just an example. And those are the types of things that we're going to capture in the after action reports, and then the lessons learned. Well, we learned that, for instance, we had way too many people on the security detail. We didn't need that many, for example, though that would be something like a lesson learned, so we can trim that down. Or the area that we were trying to secure was way too big for the amount of security we had. We're going to need more security if we're going to secure this, stuff like that, and then what are that our protocols work? Were we able to keep, I'm gonna say, quote unquote, strangers out of our camp? Stuff like that. Those are the things that go into it after action and the lessons learned. Communication is, communication is essential to the organization running smoothly and accomplishing its missions. And for the most part, our communication is good. I just think we could step it up. We need to communicate more often. You know what I mean? We need to communicate more often, and then what I like to call crosstalk. So supply is talking to logistics, and logistics is talking to admin, and admin is talking to supply. Stuff like that. And then the same thing with the remnant. Is supply talking to the supply at the remnant? Is admin talking to admin at the remnant, and so on and so on. We know the Morays talk. we know they talk routinely with each other. So we need to take the same approach with our counterparts at the remnant. And I say counterparts. We've merged into one, but it's two different locations with two different Knessets. So we're gonna have to treat it that way also. Crosstalk. Who is the supply at remnant? Who is the captain over supply at the remnant? Who is captain over the admin at the remnant? And who is the captain over the logistics and the safety? So just crosstalk, communicate more often. I think we could do better with if we just communicate more often with our counterparts, and internally we'll work a little bit more efficiently than we are. And we're growing. I saw it. I hope y'all saw it. I would suggest that you get a notepad. I got a notepad. I take notes. I'm at the age now where everything don't stay. It'll stay for maybe an hour, and then after that, I done forgot what it was. So I keep a notebook, especially when we're in meetings. When we're out at these out at the feast days, I jot down the notes. Another thing, moving into technology, I'm sort of a dinosaur, so I suggest you get a thumb drive, and then back up all your files, all your records, all your spreadsheets and stuff like that on a thumb drive. Get familiar with Microsoft Office, or if you have one that you particularly use, but the most common admin and documents is Microsoft Office. Effective and accurate records keeping, that's the hallmark of organization. If the Moray says, I wonder how many chickens we got out there on the land, and we should be able to say, at last count, 2 weeks ago we had 30 chickens and 12 roosters. You know what I mean? Something like that. Or if he says, man, I wonder if we should order some atlases, and then supply could be like, well, we got 3 atlases right now. We got a world atlas, we got a US atlas, stuff like that. So that's the type of information we need to capture and make sure it's accurate and effective. One more thing, this upcoming year is going to be very, very busy. As we know, we got that land that we're trying to develop. We still got planning for the Moedim. We got information that we need to capture internally, get that all organized, and we still got our own personal lives that we got to manage also. So this upcoming year, we got a taste of it closing out this year. So next year we'd already added 2 pieces to it, so it's going to be very busy. And what's going to keep us from disorganization is good records keeping, good, accurate record keeping, notes. That way we won't be duplicating efforts, and we won't be confused, I think that'll help us out a lot. That's all my notes. Any questions, any suggestions, anything that I might have skipped over, forgot?
Lord, down, everything was put out, it was edifying, everything was told down. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's everything is top. So, like you say, it's a lot of work coming. So we need to be ready.
We just gotta get with Abadal so he can start training some of us kings to build some of this stuff that we have to build on this land.
God.
I
I
can
agree with
wait
that.
for
I
it.
second that. I second that motion.
Okay, I can wait for it, man. You know,
Yeah, you're gonna have to start giving some classes like you did the staff making out at Sukkot.
And since Abadal is a supply person, he the perfect person to put the list of supplies we gonna need to get the stuff that we need to build out there.
God.
yeah. Well, yeah. I was looking the list you sent, man. I stole, to start cleaning and everything. I liked also Shay Shamar, man. He's ready. He's ready, man. I love
God.
it. I love it. I see
God.
those things, man, of the comments he made. I love it, love it.
God.
Dang,
And I know, man, but I don't know, but I got a really good feeling about all this. So
dang,
Me
dang,
too.
praise the
dang.
Most
No,
High.
them brothers motivated. They ready to get involved. I told Maurice about too when y'all in Dawood that when y'all cutting the things, the tree. I said y'all should put like a little area in a little area like in Camp Kirkwood, in the back by that cabin over there with the kitchen,
Yeah.
where they keep the firewood over there, cause we can use that stuff we cutting down that firewood,
Yeah.
especially for Sukkot. So.
God.
mm,
Well, I think the next agenda for that land is putting together the committees, right?
Yeah, I think
Kane.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't want to put that in, I didn't know the plan for that so far. So that would have been Maurice Samak's piece if he wanted to introduce that. I know you're embedded also, Captain Yohanan. So, but I mean, it's just the three of us, and I know he said he wanted to elect a committee for the land. And if we're going with these phases, it's going to be a phase 1 committee, and then when we move into phase 2, it'll be a phase 2 committee and stuff like that. So I think we're doing good. I think it's going to be, at least I pray and I have faith that the Most High, as long as we're righteous about it, I think, and dedicated to it, I think the Most High will bless our efforts, man.
Kane. It will be good.
All right, Akim. It's 7:46. I'll go ahead and close out unless somebody's got something else, and then we'll get ready for Men's Academy.
Yeah, I have something else. How about Adonim?
Avatar. I don't. All right. I'll close out with the Tefla, quick Tefla. Barakatah Yahweh Malak Hawalam. We come to you now, Abba Yah, humbled, closing out this captain's meeting, Abba Yah, and just pray that and ask you, Abba Yah, to order our steps in these efforts, Abba Yah. Open our eyes and give us clarity on being effective, Abba Yah, being Ahad, coming together as one, Abba Yah, to serve you, to be Tob Miod, Abba Yah, in our organization, in our leadership. And bless us, Abba Yah, this core of officers, Abba Yah. Bless us with discernment, Abba Yah, that we can recall. Bless us with your Ruach HaKodesh that gives us remembrance of the scriptures we read on organization, Abba Yah, and leadership, and all to glorify you, Abba Yah, to be humbled, courageous, dedicated servants of yours, Abba Yah. We say Toda Reba Abba for allowing us to come together on this platform, Abba Yah. Bless and keep all of us, Abba Yah, as we depart. and in all things, Abba Yah, we give you thanks. Toda Reba Abba Bahashem Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Halal Yah, Halal Yah. Aman wa Aman.
Hello, yeah.
Hallelujah. Amen. Hallelujah.